Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bimmer Barn. In today's episode, we're going to be working on my E46 wagon, and we have to get the belt tensioners installed. We have a brand new kit from FCP Euro that we're going to be installing today, and hopefully that gets the car into a running condition so that we can get it started and off of the street and then in the garage, because we need to get this thing inspected and see what kind of parts it needs. I already have a running list of things I want to buy from FCP Euro and from other places as well, just trying to get a good idea of how much it's all going to cost. But I do need to get the car inspected from the underneath because I really haven't seen it up close yet. So let's go outside and change these belts out. Now this can be a pretty tricky job if you don't have the right tools. Luckily, I think we have all that we need. This is the water pump breaker bar. I guess it's a special tool, and I'll link it down below where you can get one. But it holds the water pump stationary while you get the 32mm off for the fan clutch right here. Now, since the belt is obviously off, it leaves the water pump, loose. So we really need this tool in order to do this job. There you go, broke it loose, almost broke a fingernail. But you can see I've got it propped up, the tool right here, and using my big ol' adjustable wrench I was able to break it free. And it's reverse threaded, so you have to basically tighten it in order to loosen it. But now it's gonna fall off and we can get off the cover shrouds here, and we'll have a lot better access to all the belts. And here's a better look at the belt assemblies and how the water pump tool works. So like I said, really handy to have, basically a necessity to do this sort of work. And as you can see, we have to get the air conditioning belt off in order to get the water pump belt and access to all those other pulleys. So that's where we're gonna start, and luckily part of our kit comes with the new belt and the tensioner there. So let's start pulling everything off here, and then we'll start installing the new parts. So here's all the old parts removed, and man, I was not expecting such a catastrophic failure. It looks like all these components could be original. The tensioner that failed, not only did it snap in half on the back side, but I think the original cause of that snapping was because the main bolt actually snapped itself. So I'm honestly not sure which happened first, which came first, the chicken or the egg. But either way, this thing failed catastrophically. The belt flew off. There's no way that you could fix this. But I'm just surprised because it looked like the belt was not too bad, obviously, but this tensioner for the air conditioning must be original, and I've never seen it wear such a distinct ring in the middle. Makes me think that this thing probably has like 200,000 miles on it. And if I saw this, I would think, okay, not only should I be replacing the belt here, but I should definitely be replacing this pulley and check on the condition of these. But anyways, all of our new components are in great condition, and luckily the hydraulic tensioner kit came with new hardware, but we need to get this old bolt out. I guess it's not a bolt anymore, it's more like a stud in the block. Let's see if we can get that thing extracted, and then we'll have all of our fresh hardware to install. Well, that's not what we wanted to see. Check this out. The bolt is flush broke off inside the motor. So at least if there was some stud poking out, it'd be pretty easy to get some vice grips or pliers on there and try to get the bolt out. But since it's flush in there, that leaves us one of two options. We can either cut a slit in it and try to back it out like a flathead, or we can drill a hole through it and use an extractor set. But the problem is I already test fitted my drill and it's not gonna fit in this gap here. So if we do have to drill, we're gonna have to take the entire front end off. I know I was gonna replace the radiator anyways, so not a big deal. But at that point, I really don't want to do this in the street. I'd rather do it inside my garage. So what I think we're gonna try, the quick fix, is gonna be coming in from an angle and seeing if we can cut like a diagonal or an up and down slit in it, and that way we can get a flathead inside of it and try to coax it out like a flat-headed screw. But we're gonna need to take off the alternator because that's gonna give us enough room to come in from the side with our Dremel. So let's do that next, and then we'll see if we can get this thing out. So we just got the alternator off, and I'm just gonna point out something here. Looks like it was installed without the rear nut. So the whole time I was removing this, I felt like something was wrong, and that's because this is the lower nut, and it's supposed to hold the pole to the alternator, and then there's a non-conductive nut that actually holds the cable that, you know, is the power cable, the 12 volt. And the other day I was just curious. I was poking around in some of the pockets, and I saw this. I was like, oh man, I hope that they got a new one with the new alternator and that this isn't just missing. But I guess that answers our question, and we're gonna have to be reinstalling this, but good thing it actually came with the car. That way we don't have to go out and grab it from anywhere. So it'll go right there. That's how it's supposed to be set up. All right, honestly, I've never had something work that easily, but like I said, I just made a little slit in it using the Dremel over there, and then a flathead to break it free. I think it was already pretty loose, honestly, so I don't know if I just got super lucky, but yeah, we got the stud, it's coming out. Just a little bit of scratch on the block, it's not gonna affect anything. And now we'll be able to start reinstalling all of our new pulleys and tensioners and all that good stuff. And you know what, while we have all this stuff off, honestly, I think I'm gonna take the pressure washer and get all this dirt off. So we'll do that, it'll be nice and clean, and then put all the new pulleys in. So now we've got all of our belts installed, routed, new pulleys, tensioners. I'm gonna take out my block off since we did that pressure washing here, didn't want any water to get in. But the only thing left to do is to reconnect the battery and then try to jump start this thing. I'm gonna try to use my jumper pack at the positive point here, but if that doesn't work, we might need more amperage, in which case I'll have to get the truck over here with some jumper cables, and that should be plenty to get this thing jumped. So let's hook up the battery and see if we can get this thing going. She's running, boys and girls, she's running. Now it's time to go for a quick little drive around the block. I know that this car has plenty of issues, but just want to get my fix of BMW juice for the day. And then once we get this thing back, we're gonna put it in the garage and check it out. Oh shit, oil light's on. Alright, well, I regret everything. Saw the oil light come on for a second. That was scary. It's not on anymore. I know the oil level is pretty low on this car, so hence we need to do an oil change on it. But it does seem to go into first gear, so it's not stuck in third gear limp mode like it was before. So I think it might just be like a stored fault now, since the car went into a limp mode before. But anyways, yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing in the garage. Well guys, that's going to conclude our video for today. I don't want to leave you hanging, but if you want to see me pull the car into the garage and get to work and inspecting and seeing exactly what's wrong with it from underneath, go ahead and check out our next video, because that's what we're going to be doing then. In the meantime though, I hope that you guys enjoyed watching, and I'm really excited for a lot of the content that's going to be coming to the channel with this build, as well as some other stuff on the side. And I'll give you a quick peek of it now, but here is a car under the car cover in my driveway. It's not mine, or at least not yet it isn't, but we're going to be doing some restoration work on this car. It's going to be a really cool build for the channel, something that you haven't seen on our channel yet. And in case you couldn't tell by the car cover, it's a boxy style car, so that limits it down to some pretty older models. Like I said, I'm super excited to be showing you guys this build and having it on the channel, so stay tuned for an episode where we're going to be unveiling that project and some plans on there. But in the meantime, go ahead and hit that like button. Comment down below what you think we should do on the E46 wagon, any cool mods that you want to see while we have the car, and subscribe to the channel if you're new and you haven't yet. I hope everyone has an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next video.